Okay, well, let's look at some of those details that the Israeli media has leaked in terms of this ceasefire deal, which will reportedly be implemented in 3 stages. Now, first is stage 1, that's 33 Israeli captives being held in Gaza will be released. In turn, Israel will free 50 Palestinian prisoners, and that's in exchange for each female soldier, and then 30 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for the remaining civilians that are being held captive. The report says Israel will completely withdraw from the Philadelphia corridor at the end of the first phase of the deal. Now, this is the strip of land between borders between Gaza as well as neighboring Egypt. Now, the second stage will start 16 days into the ceasefire and will focus on negotiations to release the remaining men as well as soldiers that are held in the Gaza Strip. Then you have the third stage of the deal that will address long-term arrangements, including discussions on establishing an alternative government in Gaza and plans also to rebuild it. Other details about the reported deal focus on security, with checks said to be carried out by an international body, and Israel allowing 1 million Palestinians back to the northern part of the Gaza Strip. We're now going to be joined by Alon Liel. He's the former Director General of Israel's Foreign Ministry with a lot of experience in this, and joins us live now from Tel Aviv. Mr. Alon, as we can see there, these negotiations are underway here in Qatar right now. It seems there seems to be a much more serious push, if you like, that it will go through. We've been hearing from Mr. Mohammed there that he believes it could potentially go through. What's the narrative that you're hearing right now as this deal, it seems, is being put forward to the Knesset members by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu?
I think it's not that the Biden administration did not want to end the war. They definitely did want to end the war. However, there is much more respect toward Trump in the Israeli right wing of the political map, especially the radicals, than toward Biden. Biden was seen by some of our senior ministers as hostile to Israel, and his pressure was creating here resistance in the political map. When Trump is doing it, it looks very different, because there is not only respect, they see Trump as the best possible choice in the United States for Israel, and they have no ability and no wish to quarrel with Trump. So the Trump pressure that was just added makes the difference, clearly makes the difference.
And how is this being received by the families of those being held captive? Because they have been pushing so hard. We've seen weekly Saturday protests. They've been protesting outside and inside the Knesset and the Defense Ministry, the Kiryah in Tel Aviv. They've also been doing a lot of tours, trying to meet with the Qatari mediators here in Qatar. They met with other leaders in Europe. What's their response to all of this, and what do they want to see? Because it's still not clear if those captives that will be handed over are even alive.
Yeah, at this stage, the families are welcoming what's going on, although some of them know that they will not see the children coming back at the first stage of the deal. According to the deal, 33 hostages will come back in the first step and 22 in the second. So obviously the people that are not getting the children now are very worried, but still support the deal because they know that that's the only way to proceed now. So I think the vast majority of the families are supporting the deal at this stage. Some of them very enthusiastically because they will see the children soon, and some with a lot of worries. But I just heard on the radio the leader of one of the groups. She was happy, although she's not getting her son back soon.
Yeah, of course. Can you just hold that thought, Mr. Alon? We will come back to you. Just stay on the line there. Now, Israel's far-right National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has threatened to resign if a deal does take place. Take a listen to what he had to say.
The deal that is taking shape is a surrender deal for Hamas. Therefore, I call on my friend Bezalel Smotrich to join me and cooperate in working against the deal. My Jewish Power Party does not have the power alone to prevent the deal, but together it is possible. We can go to the Prime Minister and tell him that if he passes the deal, we will resign from the government. I stress that if we become the opposition, we will not bring down Netanyahu's government. But joint cooperation is the only way to prevent this surrender deal, this terrible deal, and to ensure that the deaths of hundreds of soldiers are not in vain.
Okay, well, Mr. Alon, threats that we've heard many times from the ultra-nationalist National Security Minister, as we heard Itamar Ben-Gvir trying to get Smotrich, the Bezalel Smotrich, the Finance Minister, to join him. He's also reportedly now been saying that he foiled a hostage deal over the last year, which seems to have caused a bit of outrage there, because, of course, this is Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has many times accused Hamas of the one that's postponed that deal mostly. Now, at a time when there are threats of this coalition government being dissolved as a result, if they were to withdraw or to resign, is that likely right now? And could this also be a deciding factor for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in not going forward with a ceasefire deal?
At this stage, what is clear that these two ministers, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, and maybe some others, will vote against the deal. But it's also clear that there will be a majority for the deal. The question is, from now on, if they will resign, leave the government as a result. I don't really think they have such an option, because the parties from the center will back Netanyahu for the deal. So it all depends on Netanyahu, because if Netanyahu will be chickening out because he will feel that he's losing his real allies in the coalition and again withdraw from the deal, this is one option, but I don't think it's realistic. I think that he will pass the deal without them, and if they leave the government, he will try to strengthen the government for more members of parliament from the center. So my guess is that they will vote against, but not leave the government.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Alon Liel, former Director General of the Foreign Ministry of Israel. We'll be checking in with you, I'm sure, very soon. Mr. Alon Liel there with a lot of experience when it comes to Israeli politics. Of course, all of this as a ceasefire deal is still being negotiated here in Qatar. We'll be checking in with you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.